Have you ever been caught cheating in school?
Yes.
What happened?
I was at summer school. It was freshman year, and then we were taking a test, and then I gave my friend answers for the test, and then he copied down exactly the same thing I wrote on the test, which it's the problem I got wrong, and he wrote down everything, so we got caught. Yeah, and I got in trouble.
A serious situation?
Yes.
They're all serious situations. At least once a year.
How often? Just a couple times a year, I'd say. For serious cheating, like cheating on a test, I'd say a couple times a year.
Serious situation, maybe once a year.
I feel like all cheating situations are serious. But I guess like in terms of like a paper as opposed to just like, oh, I copy license homework. Every time I get papers, like anytime anyone turns in any kind of a paper, guaranteed I'm gonna find at least one, if not multiple, like examples of cheating. I think students cheat now. I think they cheated before.
No, I think it's the same. I just think, no, I think it's the same.
No. People have always cheated. People will always cheat.
No, I still, unless I'm just not catching them, unless they're a lot more sly about it. But I haven't seen it happening more, no.
I specifically print out the requirement, the district requirement, which is to give students a 0 on the assignment or a failing grade. So those are the guidelines that I follow, and I specifically print them out for the students. They're in the student handbook. So I print those out for them so that they are able to see that I'm following district protocol, and it's not just because I want to be mean to them or that I don't like them.
If it's the first time, I will just take the test, let them know, and then just put a 0. And then I'll have the students explain it to the parents, why they have a 0. So that's the difference. Really, policy, I think, says we contact the parents, and I believe they get detention also.
Oh no, I follow the district board policy. So like, if I catch someone cheating, I do what I'm supposed to do, which is write them up. And then it goes to the discipline office, and then the discipline office is supposed to follow the district board policy, which there's a series of consequences that range from like suspensions to, loss of privilege if you're like an athlete or, a student leader of some sort.
I give them a 0 and I talk to their parents. And do I report it? Probably haven't. But I do give them the 0, and I talk to the parents, and I have talked to, in one case I've talked to an administrator. I don't know if I've officially written it up.
The district policy is definitely much more strict than what teachers do. I think teachers feel sorry for kids. Kids get caught and they start crying and they start feeling bad, and then we don't follow through on the policies that are in place. So I think that teachers are way more lenient than the district policy would want them to be.
They're all the things that are on the district board policy. So everything from copying someone else's homework to plagiarizing something without citing it, to looking at someone else's test while you're working, to taking someone else's idea and not giving them credit, and then there's like some other things in between there. But
Sharing answers with someone, putting down, using like a formula sheet when you're not supposed to.
My definition of cheating is not just copying on a test or bringing in a cheat sheet on a test. Copying homework is cheating. Copying lab answers is cheating. Not creating your own graph, but like printing out an extra copy for your partner. Yeah, that's all cheating.
Anytime they use any type of assistant that they're not allowed to use on an exam, whether it's from another person or whether it's some type of cheat sheet or something written on a calculator or on something else.
totally. I mean, I think there's like actually a lot more cheating at the AP level because students are trying to get into these top-notch colleges and it's extremely competitive, and there's a million people just like you who have awesome things that they could write on their resume. And so I think kids feel like a certain kind of desperation to be like number one of all the number ones. And so I think for a lot of people it causes them to compromise what they it causes them to compromise their ethics.
Yes, I think that there is a tremendous amount of pressure to cheat. I feel very strongly that it is in my honors and AP classes where there is far more cheating because there's so much more to lose. It's way more high stakes. Parents often don't understand if the kid isn't able to do the work as well. They still want their kid to get the A, and so the kid feels pressure by their parents and they get desperate and they end up cheating. I think a lot of it is parent pressure.
That really depends. I think for the most part, no. But I think if they have parents who were just unrelenting and no, you have to have straight A's or close to straight A's, they may feel that pressure.
I think it depends on which classes that I deal with. I know, for example, in Honors Algebra 2, when I was teaching that, there was a really big demand on students' performance. So a lot of the parents expected them to get the A in the math class.
Disappointed? Well, two things. Disappointed if it's not a kid I expect.
Yeah.
Because like I typically like try to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know. So it's like if you're like a kid that I put in the really good kid category who I wouldn't think do that, it's like disappointing because I'm like, oh man, like
You definitely do.
yeah, take the higher road, you know, take the moral high road.
Well, I don't like it because trust is broken, and you know, it just is kind of like, oh, wow, you know, especially if it's a student I really like. I'm like, oh, you know, I have to, you know, now I have to, you know, do the consequences. So it's something I really don't want to do, but I definitely do if I have to do it.
I'm very disappointed in them. Breaks my heart, but I still act on it. They still get their 0 and they cannot make up that exam.
It actually makes me sad. I'm sad that I'm in the situation where I have to deal with it. It makes me sad how it's going to impact them. It makes me sad that they didn't have more respect for me to not do it. So it actually hurts because I kind of somehow take it personally.
The best way for us is we make sure that their cell phones are in their backpacks, and especially for finals, we put the backpacks against the wall. Also, just walking around the room and making sure, you know, they're honest, and also using colored tests. You know, especially if they don't know what color the test is, then you can see, because sometimes students try to put their cheat sheet underneath the test. So if it's a different color and it moves, and I've caught somebody like that.
I watch them. I walk up and down. I don't just sit at my desk and expect them all to be, you know, on their best behavior, but I walk up and down and monitor them, and I have special ways that I monitor them, special places that I put myself in the classroom. So I have to do my job better during their testing. I never leave a test with a substitute.
I try to, you know, I have 4 versions of the test. I try to alter how I pass out the tests, so like the kid doesn't know they're going to get version D every time, so they can't like meet up with other version Ds and plan ahead. I try to make the questions be a lot of critical thinking, so even if you did have a cheat sheet, it's not word for word what's on the test.
I think my job as a teacher to prevent kids from cheating, honestly, is to teach them how to cite really, really well and to make it really, really clear, guys, this is cheating, this is not cheating, so that there's no question in anyone's mind, like when they're doing something, whether or not it's cheating. Well, I think for sure, like if a student is caught cheating, they should always get a 0 on the assignment. Like, you know, like you've just invalidated, because it's not yours. And then I think that another major thing is always contact parents. Like parents are, you know, responsible for teaching students like what's right and what's wrong, and hopefully they're reinforcing that like honesty matters, whether it's stealing someone's car or stealing someone else's essay. And then thirdly, like I think that there does need to be a next step, especially if it's like a reoccurring problem, and that needs to involve like the authorities on campus who go beyond me, so the discipline office.
Okay. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
First time detention, and you know, a call home. Second time, a call home and a suspension from school 1 day. The third time, it would be probably a 5-day suspension, and that would definitely go onto the transcript.
Do you have any stories of how you caught someone cheating? Like any? Big stories.
Well, the very first year we opened, the very first year I had a young lady who was cheating. As a matter of fact, she had the highest grade in the class. And what she was doing, this is when I was back in the E building, she had her cheat sheet in her bag, and whenever I would turn my back, she would go to her bag. And one day at one point, I just happened to turn around real fast, and I saw her hand in her bag, so I caught her right there. And of course, she denied it, but
The answer to
that was the first year we had opened as a 1999, 2000. So that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.